Hi guys, this is Galahad from Hidden Minis, and today we're going to talk about the 8th edition of Warhammer 40k, especially the core rulebook. As you can see, it starts pretty well with an amazing artwork on the cover page. And the very next pages, the first pages of the book, are really what you can expect from Games Workshop these days. It features some really nice artwork, but also some stories and some background about the universe. It serves as an introduction to the world of 40k game, actually, while really focusing on the artwork because it's really what Warhammer 40k is about. Then the next pages are all about what the game is really, from the hobby perspective, with the assemble of your miniatures and painting and this kind of stuff. It's very quick, but it's really nice touch for people who don't know the game yet. So if you don't know yet what has happened since the last edition of 40k, I'm going to reveal some of it, some of the changes that have happened. So spoiler alert. The first thing is, Abaddon the Spoiler has finally achieved something in his life. No, don't code. Because he did a bad thing. He did a really bad thing. He actually destroyed Cadia. Yeah, like the biggest defense of humanity against chaos has been destroyed by this guy. The second thing that happened is a giant chaos warp rift has appeared across the whole galaxy, and it's been cut in two parts now. As the Imperium has been cut from the Astronomicon and the rest of humanity, it's pretty difficult to navigate between these two parts. So it's a real mess right now out there. Fortunately, I have a good news for you, friends of the Imperium. Robert Kuliman, Primarch, the Ultramarines, has been brought back to life. He actually wasn't really dead, but was more like sleeping for 10,000 years. And another good news is that during this time, one of his kind of friend from the Abdetus Mechanicus has been secretly building a new generation of space marine called the Primaris, and this is a very good news for the Imperium. So I think it's a pretty good summary of what happened the last 10,000 years, but you can read more about it in the book. What I also like about the book is that it really goes into details about the Imperium. So you have a lot of stuff about Space Marines, as you can expect, details about what is a Space Marine chapter and what are the principal ones. But it also talks a lot about the other great organizations in the Imperium. So you have the Imperial Guard, which is pretty usual, but it also features all the different parts of the Imperium you can play. So you have some information about the Adeptus Mechanicus, about the Questor Imperialis, the Imperial Knights, the Imperial Agents, this kind of thing. And it's really, it's a very good way to get some inspiration and maybe start a new army or something like that. There is, as you can expect in a Games Workshop book, a lot of photos of miniatures, and then after all this, of course, the book talks about chaos, finally. It presents what the Chaos Space Marines are. It talks about the different gods of chaos, demons, and then some chaos chapters, like my favorite one, the Thousand Sons. There is also a large part of the book which is about Xenos, all the other races you can find in the 40k universe. And really, I think that it was a really nice thing to do because you can know a lot of things about Eldars and Necrons and Chows and Orcs and all the other races. It's really not just about the Imperium, it's about the whole universe and what army you can play in the game. So basically, more than half the book is about the background and the universe of 40k, and then go on the rules of the game. Before really going into the details, I have to say that clearly readers the amount of rules, basic rules you have to learn in order to play a game. Just like Age of Sigmar, which has 4 pages of basic rules, 40k has really been reduced in terms of complexity. It's really easier to pick up, easier to learn, and easier to play. And I know that a lot of people have really hated Age of Sigmar just for that. Generally, what you can hear about it is that it lacks some depth that Warhammer Fantasy Battles add. What Games Workshop says about that, and I totally agree with them, is that the depth is no more into the rules because they've been simplified so the game is easier to learn and play, but the depth has been put into the datasheets. That's something I'm going to talk about a bit later. Datasheets are just a place where you can find all the required information to play your unit. It goes from weapons to special rules, and really all the things you need to play a specific unit is on its datasheet. If you've played Age of Sigmar, it's exactly the same principle. So you don't have to browse and browse your codex book anymore to find that specific rule that applies to your unit. You just have to read it on its datasheet. And it really makes the game faster. So clearly the game is still about strategy and how you build your army and the kind of moves you can do during the game. It's really still has a lot of strategy in it. So there are now three ways to play the game, just like in Age of Sigmar. If you play that game, you shouldn't be lost. The first new type of game is just called a free game, and basically in a free game you pick your army and your friend picks an army and you play the game. You don't care about balance, you don't care about that kind of thing, just play the game. It's more about fun and less about who's going to win because there is no balance in it. The second kind of game is called narrative games. In narrative games, you play a mission just like a regular 40k game, but you don't spend so much time building your army because you're just going to use an approximate system, brand new for 40k. It's called power levels, and so now every unit costs points, of course, just like before, but it also has a power level, and power level is just a way to calculate an approximate balance of the game. So it's really just like when you're building your army, but it's far easier to calculate and really faster. So if you're going to play a narrative game, just pick the mission and pick your army, and you tell your friend, okay, my army power level is approximately, I don't know, like something like 60. Just be sure that you have an army with approximately that kind of power levels. Then if there are some, it can be hard to have the exact same amount of power level. Really, it's not an issue. And most missions are going to balance the game with some mechanisms like giving some advantages to the army with the lowest amount of power levels. I really think that's a kind of games everybody is going to give a try. And the third kind of game is what you're used to. It's really regular 40k games where you build your army with an army list and you calculate all the points and all the cost of weapons and new equipment, and then you play the game. And really that's the best way to have a very balanced game. So for competitions it's really a must. But clearly it's not the only way to play the game anymore, and I think that's really good thing. Then the book features a lot of different kind of mission, and really it has a ton of it. Every mission you can imagine, you can probably find something similar in the book. Frankly, it has everything from just secure and control some objectives to trying to kill someone in the enemy army. Really, really, really a lot of mission, and that's something really nice. And really, what these missions show is that you can really have all kind of games in 40k. So every game shouldn't be the same as before. And then we go on a section called Advanced Rules. The first part of this section is all about building your army the new way. Basically, in 40k until that point, when you were building an army, the first part was you get to have 2 troops and 1 HQ, and that was really the thing you need for your army. And then you have all kind of limitation. So, for example, if you wanted an army full of Terminators, you couldn't have it because I guess was producing an unbalanced army. But now you can do it actually. So in the 8th edition, your army is composed of what's called detachments. And a detachment is just a way to build a part of your army. So for example, if you want that famous army of Terminators, you can use the Vanguard detachment composed of 1 HQ and from 3 to 6 elite choices. And it will be really just a part of your army, so you can add other detachments. And it's a very new part of the game because when you add a detachment to your army, it might give you some commandment points. Command points are a new thing. It's just something that you can spend during the game to have nice strategic advantages you can use during the game. So you really have to think before the game how you're going to build your army and what's the best way to have the most common points. Then Games Workshop added some stuff that was before part of additional books to the core rulebook, like Planet Strike and Cities of Death and Stronghold Castle, that kind of thing. Everything is in that book now. I guess they will release some more content about it, but the basic rules are available if you have the book. So, again, it's not required. But really, I really like the idea to have my army fighting in the streets of a really destroyed city. Thanks Game Workshop to adapt to the core rulebook, because now I have some advanced rules to play even more complicated games. Basically, that's it. So what I really like about this edition is that everything you need to play the game is not in this book actually, because you can have the rules, basic rules for free available online. Everything in the book is just like additional stuff, but really I really recommend to buy it anyway. Why? First reason is that it's really beautiful. It's a really nice book, and even if you already know the 40k universe, it's very nice, very beautiful piece of work. The second reason is that even if you have the basic rules, okay, you're going to play some great games, and you can play the game. That's not a problem. But what's really going to allow you to play really nice 40k games, I think, are the missions. And sure, you can invent your own or find some of them online, but there's so many nice examples in this book that it would be a shame to just ignore them. And then all the adventures are pretty nice as well. I'm not talking about the way to build your army, because if you're just playing narrative games, it's not required. But things like Battle Zone and Cities of Death, all these things are really nice, and I can't wait to give it a try. If you're a casual gamer, you can just use the basic rules and pick some army and play the game. But if you're really a hardcore player or competition player, you can add more and more and more rules, all the kind of rules you want, and still play the game. And Games Workshop support that with all kind of content. And I think that the final experience of the game is going to be really nice, whatever your level of expectation is. So, do you need it to play 40k? I guess not. But should you buy it? Yes, probably the best rulebook they have released to this day. Next time we're going to talk about indexes. It's the books that contain all the datasheets for your unit, and these books are really required if you want to play. But that will be for the next time, and we'll start with the Imperium 1 index. See you next time, and may the Emperor be with you.